Okay, hello everyone. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the take-home A-type problem that all of you receive at the beginning of each chapter that we study. Now, in the take-home A-type problem, I'm basically asking you to create what is called a conceptual map. Now, what should be included in the conceptual map? All the things that are important in the chapter should be included. For example, all the terms and definitions that you encounter, all the notation and specific numbers that are important to that chapter, as well as all formulas and labeled diagrams. Now, if you have all of that information, then basically what you have is a list. You're just listing all of those different things. A conceptual map actually does a little bit more than that. And this is the purpose of what it does. It takes all of that information and it shows how they are interconnected or interrelated. You need to be able to show what the relationships are between the concepts that are studied in the chapter. In addition to that, you also want to make sure that the purpose of the conceptual map is also to be able to see the big picture. Oftentimes, what happens is, especially during long chapters, is that as you continue through the chapter, sometimes it becomes difficult to think, to really get a grasp of, well, what are we all doing this for again? So the purpose, one purpose of the conceptual map is to also be able to always focus on what the big picture is and make sure that you can see everything in perspective, in the proper perspective. Okay, and the last one is you want to be able to establish a structure of knowledge and skills. So what you have here is a list, but the conceptual map goes a little bit further. It's going to show the relationships, and it is also going to give you a very concrete way of seeing the big picture and how all of the little pieces contribute to the structure of the big picture. Okay? So when we actually go about working on that conceptual map, there are a few keys that I want to go ahead and emphasize to you, because if you can actually incorporate this into your conceptual maps, then I think you will have a very, very, very strong understanding of the chapter, not only from a conceptual point of view, but also in the sense that you'll be able to know all the relationships. One advantage of that is that if all these things are related and you forget how to do this, well, if you remember this, then you can somehow figure out how to get to that. And that's one of the points of the conceptual map as well. Now, there are a couple of keys as you are working through the conceptual map. Well, what are they? One is that you have to add to the map every class that you have. Now, when we actually go through the chapter, we basically take one class to look at more or less one section of the chapter. Now, if you actually build every class and you create the structure, as you're doing that, you're going to actually test your knowledge and your understanding of how things fit together. That's what you want to do. You don't want to wait until the end, just before the test, to actually create this, because otherwise, all you're really going to be doing is creating a list, possibly, looking for certain relationships, but it's not going to help you overall in your long-term understanding of the chapters. Okay? So, add to the map every class, because it is at that point that you remember the finer details of each section. Second, use color for emphasis and as a recall tool. A lot of research now shows that if you're doing something like a conceptual map, that if you incorporate color, then you can be even more specific with the relationships that you're trying to show, and in addition to that, it becomes easier for you to remember. So, I tried to do that a little bit here as well. As you can see, I tried to use the green and the red, even the blue underline for the emphasis. But anyway, use these techniques to go ahead and help you create what would be a great conceptual map. Two things that's going to actually happen, I think, if you can do that. One is that if you actually follow these keys, by the time the test comes, you're going to be reaffirming your conceptual map. And two, when it comes to the long-term memory that is needed, especially for the IB exams at the end of your grade 12 year, which is 2 years away, then having these conceptual maps is actually going to help you to remember all of the skills and concepts that are needed to achieve on that test as well. So, this is not only a short-term advantage, it is also going to be a huge, huge long-term gain for you in your enjoyment of the study of mathematics. So, I just hope that you can go ahead now and understand what should be included, what the purpose is, and how you need to go about creating a great conceptual map. So hopefully you can apply this right now, from the next time that we actually start a new chapter, which will be very, very soon. Okay? So anyway, good luck with the conceptual maps, and let's hope that it makes a huge, huge difference for you in the long run. Okay? See you next time.